in the bed that's too small, drive my daughter to a school that's too expensive, and then I go to work to a job for which I get paid too little.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. We can stay up late, swapping manly stories, and in the morning, I'm making waffles.
You're waking up with the Morning App on 90.5 WASU.
Good morning, Appalachian State. It is the Morning App on 90.5 WASU. It is a brand new year, a brand new semester, brand new classes, brand new, really everything. Brand new morning show crew. I'm Joshua along with Kati and Dovy. And we are all happy to be here, right, guys?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Happy to be awake again at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Actually, earlier.
Yeah, a little earlier. But I actually like it. I had an internship this summer where I had to wake up at 4 in the morning, so this isn't too bad. This is my new afternoon now, so.
I had that not the same internship, obviously, but the same type of internship where I had to wake up at 4-ish in the morning. A lot.
Yikes.
And it is rough. I don't know how actual morning show people do it because they get up even earlier than that because they usually go from 6 to 9.
Yeah.
We're pretty lucky we only go, we're not lucky, but
Yeah.
we go from 8 to 9, and it is a very tough schedule to walk. How do they watch all the sporting events? Because they all go past midnight a lot of the time. I'm just
Yeah.
they sacrifice so much.
They all said that it never gets any easier, but I don't think it's that hard per se. If you can just get past that hump, then it's I really like having the long day and all that jazz.
It definitely makes the day feel longer, you've done more, because then tonight I'll probably look back at this morning and be like, that feels like a week ago that happened. It definitely didn't feel like this morning, but yeah, I've been started drinking coffee recently as of 2 days ago.
Congratulations.
So I know, I'm finally an adult, but yeah. So
I didn't know that's what makes you an adult.
My girlfriend's little brother, he's in 5th grade and he's already starting to drink coffee.
Oh my.
So I think that's just what's happening now with the next generation. I think that the grind is already starting at 5th grade. They're all going to be internet entrepreneurs and stuff.
See, I don't like that. They're starting that young. We don't need to rely on caffeine. We should rely on the energy of our own bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Just the flow, man.
Yeah, we don't need the caffeine or the
But we really
drinks
do.
or anything like that.
yeah.
No, we don't.
It helps more than I thought it would, and I was like, man, why haven't I been drinking coffee this whole time?
Could you imagine a world without coffee?
Yes, it's beautiful.
No, man, that's like the dark ages, basically.
Dark ages.
The only coffee I ever drink is McDonald's mocha. That is the only coffee I'll ever drink. And I don't think it affects me in any way, but
Yeah, it's
I like
You don't
really
drink
sugar,
coffee.
I feel like.
No.
You just
It's the rarest of occasions that I actually drink coffee. Unless if I am totally desperate and I feel like I will die unless I have something to keep me going. Usually on car rides. Other than that, not in
oh
the
my
morning,
gosh,
just
I don't want to
classic.
tempt you, but dude, the potential that
Yeah.
you could have. You're already this
Yeah.
productive without
Oh
coffee.
yeah, definitely.
No,
I'm just trying to imagine what Josh would be like on
yeah.
coffee mode.
no. We
He'd
can't
be bouncing off
golly.
the walls in here.
Yeah,
Josh, sit down, please.
Life is just on hard mode right now, Oh my gosh.
Well, it might be on hard mode for some of the newbies in town. We have a lot of incoming freshmen and everything. And, of course, it was, I think for all of us, 4 years ago or, however time ago we were freshmen because we're all seniors here.
Mm-hmm.
And do you guys remember your freshman year? Was it the most magical time of your life, as they all describe it?
The first week was absolutely terrible. It was good, but it was also I don't know. I feel like it's a universal thing for most people to have that first week be hard and feel like you just I don't know. I was just so worried about everything and worried about making new friends. And then after the first week, I was like, wait a second, no, this isn't that bad. I'm being dramatic. I'm just not used to this change. And and then talking to other people, they're like, oh yeah, my first week of college was rough too. And it's why is no one talking about that? Why did no one tell me that it wasn't just me that was having a hard time moving somewhere new and meeting new people?
Because the brochures make it sound like it's going to be that easy. You're just just talk to people and just meet them. Yeah, I transferred, so I wasn't a freshman. So it was kind of a weird, uncanny valley of the people that were my age were already kind of settled in. They already had their groups and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the freshmen were a little bit too young for me to make friends.
To vibe with.
Yeah, so I pretty much just went out and just joined as many clubs as possible. I got into a cappella group here and made friends that way. Eventually, like, somebody in that group invited me to their Dungeons and Dragons group, and then I made friends with them, and it just kind of like grew off from there, but more like in a really organic way. So it wasn't too bad, but it was a bumpy start.
Yeah.
There's just nothing else. I think especially that first week, like obviously they have all those programs and everything for you to do, and I, encourage you to go to them and actually not just sit in your room and, go and do all that stuff. But it also just feels like there's nothing to do really because, like you said, you don't know anyone. I remember like I got moved in. I'm just laying on bed. I'm like, well, what do I do now? Like I have all this free time that I never knew I had, and I can do whatever, but I don't have anyone to spend it with.
Well, I had like the opposite problem where it was like there was almost too much to do. I was like overwhelmed by like how many things, because like a lot of people on my floor were like, oh, let's go do this, let's go do that, like la la la, like there are a bunch of events going on, and I was just like, I need to go to all these, but I also need to like sit in my bed and like reflect on like, okay, like this is new, like I need to like calm myself down and like not like freak out about this, but
yeah. Well, the best advice I can give anyone, I'm sure you guys have one or two things, is, leave your door open, especially if you're in a dorm right now. Leave your door open and maybe go introduce yourself to everyone around the hall. Like, every single door is open, knock, do whatever. Be those, people that go around, hi, can we ask you a couple questions for a survey? No, don't do that, but knock on their door and try and at least talk to them.
I bet you, like, at least a fifth of college guys have a guitar. You know what I mean? Leave the door open, and because that's what I did. I would play like practice with the door open, and then next thing somebody comes in, it's like, dude, you want to jam? And then it's like, boom.
Everyone just came running to you like, oh, Dovy, your music is so magical.
Hey, listen,
really
can you close the door, please?
Well, we got a lot of good stuff this hour and, of course, in the upcoming shows, but right now it's closing time Semisonic here on the Morning App.
And now back to your favorite morning talk show, The Morning App on 90.5 WASU.
What are a few of the things that really just get on your nerves? Good morning. It's the Morning App here on 90.5 WASU. And especially with the new roommates that you all have, the new friends you're making, is it really appropriate that, especially at the beginning of the year, you sit down, you have a little conference with your friends or your roommates or whoever and be like, hey, this gets on my nerves. Don't do it. Don't do it, please.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I know that the dorms on campus, that they make you sign a roommate agreement.
Oh, that's right. I never read that.
So then you really do have to sit down and think about, okay, is that going to annoy me long term? And then also it prompts you to have that conversation early, which is nice. But then it's hard when you move off campus to be like, okay, let's make this little document. You don't want to, especially if it's your friends.
I feel like no one actually ever read that agreement, though. I know I didn't.
Yeah.
I just kind of breezed through it and signed it. I don't think or if there is something that bothers you, you don't know it until it happens, and then you don't discuss it, or you just hide it from your roommate, which is then an issue.
Yo, do you remember the application or it just asked you about yourself to pair you with the right person,
Yeah.
So, I made sure it checked what time you go to bed. It checked, how often, how loud you are or whatever.
Yeah.
And then one of them was how clean you are. Or your cleanliness.
Yeah.
So I marked, I'm super clean. Please, match me with somebody really clean. So I remember the first semester, I got somebody on the totally opposite spectrum.
Why would they do that?
And the thing is, I've learned now to communicate more. That's for me. It's it's different when you're in an apartment because you all have your own separate rooms. So if someone's messy, you can kind of deal with it by just kind of retreating back to your own room.
Yeah.
But dude, the first semester, since you're I was living in a dorm, so I was sharing a space with somebody, and that mess smelled like mold the whole semester. So that's for me. If I can't sleep in my room, from how messy it is where I live, that's a big no-no for me.
Well, now you have your own room and everything, and which is what you get also when you move out, maybe move to an apartment or a house with your roommates, but you still want all the common areas to be cleaned as well. And it gets on your nerves when something happens, or you have a party or a get together and it's just stuff everywhere. Someone cooks and it's everywhere and then doesn't clean up for days on end, and you'll get to it, but at the same time you're I want it gone now. I don't need it sitting here now. You say you'll get to it, but 3 days of living in this is kind of hard. And it's just hard.
Some people just have a different lifestyle. Some people don't really care, That's just me. I'm a pretty clean person, so that's just my responsibility to find somebody who's on the same level of cleanliness. So my roommate now is very clean, so that's always nice. I can come home and I know it's going to be a nice big slap of a breeze coming in through the door when I get back from work or school or whatever it is. I don't want to come home to cookout.
Trays everywhere.
Yeah, just that smell.
Because one, you get jealous of that person at cookout, and then
you're
two, it's also a mess, and you're just upset overall. Yeah. But do you think it's a good idea how hard is it when it's your friends as well, and you have to sit down and be like, hey, you didn't do this. Why didn't you do this? Can you do it now? Because I've done that several times. I'm always the bad guy, I feel with my roommates. And I'll talk to my other roommates. They're like, oh, yeah, you just, I didn't have the guts to come out and tell them this. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm still turning out to be the bad guy here. Come on. How hard is it to talk to them?
It's hard because you don't want to,
be angry and mean, but...
Yeah. I know my girlfriend had, she moved in with friends and she at first was like, oh, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna be moving in with some of my friends. They know who I am. I know who they are. It should go breezy. But because you're living together, you're seeing when you're just friends with somebody, you're only seeing them in a public setting. You're at a party or the fun times. But then when you see them in the day to day, you can spark some more tension and. So, overall, by the end of it, she felt like her relationship with those friends was kind of decreased because of how just they weren't able to mesh together, So it's really hard because you don't want to risk that. But if I, with my roommates, I would always bring it up, like, listen, like, you know, you're my friend and my roommate, and that's why I'm telling you this, you know, like, I respect you, but, like, you know, I want to make sure that, like, we can make this work so we can have a good year. Like, is there anything I'm doing wrong too? I think it's the number one thing people forget, that they can be a problem too.
I don't want to open that can of worms. Anything I'm doing wrong? Well, let me tell you.
Listen, I'm perfect.
Pulls out like a list.
Yeah, Santa Claus
a book,
list.
You never know. Yeah, you could be like, they could be like, dude, I found all your toenail clippings. Can you please? Or something.
How do you know those are mine?
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, mine's cleaning. I hate when something is left uncleaned in the room. Dovy, yours is obviously cleaning too. I don't know if you have another one, but I just don't like if someone makes a mess and doesn't clean it up on days on end, because especially if I'm living in that space as well. If it's if it's their room, I don't care. I'm not going to go in their room. But if it's in the common area or something, it just bothers me.
Yeah, because I definitely feel like of all my roommates, I'm like the messiest, but like my room is a disaster, but like I usually try to keep the living room, like keep all my stuff out of the living room, which I don't know, like, because my roommates are very clean, like they like it to be clean, so I try not to step on their toes and try to like think about that what I'm doing, like leaving my things in the living room would be annoying.
Yeah, well, I think both of you would attest that if you are having a new roommate and they're your friends, or even if they're total strangers, try and make the most of it. Try and be maybe a little bit more, I don't know the word, a little more, considerate. There you go. Good word. A little bit more considerate than maybe you would be, and just sit down and talk to them, especially if it is, you know, a new year, new roommate, and you want to be off on the right foot. But it is still good to be alive here on the Morning App. Andy Grammer.
Morning App on 90.5 WASU and WASUradio.com.
It is the classic game that we all know and love. It's the Morning App here on 90.5 WASU, but we have your game for you, Would You Rather? We played it a lot last year on Mondays, and we're not really playing it as much as discussing it.
Yeah.
But let's dive deeper into some of these thoughts, because they can get really deep, especially on Reddit too, because I was reading some on Reddit last night, and they were mind-blowing because they set parameters for it. They set laws and rules, like you can do this, but this you can't. And I'm just
subreddit I haven't been in yet.
Well,
so.
I don't know Reddit, and I just literally went to Reddit, searched it, and I'm like, I guess that's a subreddit. I don't know.
Everything's
Reddit
on Reddit.
is golden, yeah.
Here's what you need to do. If you don't know about Reddit, just go to Reddit.
Side note.
And just go to the popular pages where all the best stuff is.
Yeah.
And then
where's that page?
So it's just the front page. You just go to the old Reddit too. The new Reddit is whack.
How do you know which one's?
Just type in old Reddit and then just go to that one. It's way better. And then also when you see a picture or something like that, or a GIF or whatever it is, there's usually like a topic or like a subreddit that's like next to the username, like mildly interesting, or like that's one of the and then you just find what you like. Cute dog pics or something.
Yeah.
You'll find a home in Reddit.
And just like searching, I think the coolest thing is TV shows that not a lot of people watch. You can search those, and there's like so many forums, but people like live episode watching where they're just like posting like crazy.
You like Doctor Who? I guarantee there's gonna be a massive subreddit.
Now, what about like the canceled shows that you all love that got canceled?
Oh, guaranteed. Like Firefly?
Oh yeah.
I guarantee there's something for that.
Okay, I'm gonna go there. I'm really going to go there. But see, I'm feeling it's going to take like all of my time up is my only concern. Like I'm just going to be diving into it.
It's a good late night, little, thing you can go to when you're all done.
Late night into morning and then classes.
Yeah.
You can kind of get stuck in like a hole of just like, how many hours have I sat down and just like
laughed out of your nose?
Yeah.
I can't get into that. But I did find this one on Reddit. Would you rather live your current life or be transported to another dimension to your dream life? Here are the parameters. I liked it. It was like bulleted parameters and everything. In the dimension of your dream life, everything stays the same parents, siblings, friends, etc. But your life is now the one you've always wanted. You're either like smarter, more attractive, different gender, any of that. But in your old dimension, you're dead. Your family and everyone is mourning your loss, and you know that they're missing you, and you can remember everything in your past life.
That's
would you do it?
That's actually, I think that's a theory in time travel, that if you were to time travel, your old parallel self would technically be dead as you time because you know what I mean?
Which is weird.
Yeah, like your consciousness goes into something else because in that, you know what I mean? I would just pick the life I have now. I say, make this life the dream life. You know what I mean? Because if you just get the dream life, you don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, that's true.
You haven't earned it.
And you should be living your dream life. The only problem is I know people out there that probably would choose this because, I mean, their life isn't all that great. And I understand that. But it's still, like, tough to think about. I asked my roommate last night, and he was, like, really cool. He's like, oh, I'm pretty happy with the life I'm living. He's like, other than school, I'm pretty happy with the life I'm living. I'm like, hey, honestly, good to you. But that time travel thing is weird. If you just... What if you return back to your time? Do you, like... Your body magically come back?
I don't think so. I think then
like
you killed that person. So you've killed two versions of yourself.
Like two clones?
So like Marty McFly technically dies in Back to the Future. I mean, we've never time traveled. It's not like a confirmed thing, but that's just like a thought piece, basically. But yeah, I would pick the life I have because I would want that sense of accomplishment. I wouldn't feel that if I just got it, with a snap.
My thing is more that I don't think I could ever live with the knowledge that my family and friends were mourning me back, just that you're putting that much sadness on people just because you wanted to have a better life, like in a different...
That'd be a weird secret to keep, too.
Yeah,
Why are you acting so weird?
You feel this pain?
Well, I'm technically dead.
Now I'm back.
I'm not the real Dovy.
Oh.
That'd be weird.
Which you are, but you're not.
You're not, yeah.
Would you be... So in this, alternate dimension, are you then killing, the other version of yourself that would, currently live there? Or...
See, I don't know.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
That's even more messed up.
Yeah.
If you kill two versions of yourself, you know.
But wouldn't they notice a change? Obviously, like if you killed that version of yourself and you magically come back better looking and funnier, like they'd be like, you're definitely not him.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, I think you basically just create a new dimension. I don't think you're going to like a different time. I think you literally just out of nowhere create this world and everyone you know is in it. It's the exact same except you can like transform yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
I'd still pick the first option. Though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would too.
That's
I'm living my best life.
that's the optimistic way to go.
Okay, one more here. Would you rather be hailed as a hero for your work in your life, but regarded a monster for that work forever after your death, or be seen as a monster for your work throughout your life, but seen as a hero after your death?
I pick the second option.
Yeah, because it's more knowable, Dovy.
No, it would just be cool. Because, I mean, think about, like, H.P. Lovecraft didn't really get appreciated after he passed away. I think it was Picasso, too, or Van Gogh. I can't remember which one. That wasn't, like... He wasn't really that popular in the moment, but then after he passed away, like, everybody loved his art. I can't remember which one it is.
Or even the F. Scott Fitzgerald, like, who wrote The Great Gatsby, he never knew that it became a popular book.
Now, but he wasn't really considered a monster. I'm saying,
no, but
hey,
he, like, never knew that he was successful,
monster.
though.
everyone literally hates you and thinks you are the worst human being to walk this earth. And everywhere you go, I mean, trash being thrown at you, like... stuff broken into, maybe even like a monster.
What if like Donald Trump just has like a massive plan for all of this, you know, and then like he passes away and we're like, wow.
A hero.
Like,
yeah, no, man.
you know how hard that'd be? Because even like celebrities that are hated, I mean, go through it and everything.
I don't think I could deal with being a monster while I'm like still alive to see it.
That's a long time, especially since we're like what, in our 20s, early, you know, teens,
That's just,
or late teens, so it's like
yeah,
that's the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
So.
Like you would lose a lot of self-confidence, and I don't think I could handle being.
But I think I have enough people in my life to like support me through that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It says everyone here sees you the monster.
or maybe
I think
no.
just by yourself.
Even your family's turning against you.
Everybody hates you, Dovy. Can you deal with that? Is your work that you're doing actually that important?
I don't know. What would it be that I would do?
Oh, yeah, true.
That's the real thing I'm trying to figure out. Like,
Maybe you found a cure for cancer, but I don't know.
people are like, no.
No, it does something terrible to the planet or to
Okay.
animals or something. I don't know. Like you have to
It
extract.
makes sense. Like,
yeah.
it puts the earth at risk.
Yeah, or well, not. I don't know.
I don't know.
Just you're a monster, Dovy.
I don't know. I would still take it for the team if that's what that meant. Because then it's like,
But
clearly it was something really important in the long run, you know?
in either case, you're still being successful, right? It's just,
I don't know.
you know what I mean? Like,
I
are
mean-
you still accomplishing the same things with both scenarios, or is it only like where you're the monster your whole life?
Well, either you're heralded as a hero your entire life, which obviously means everyone loves you, you're a big success, blah blah blah. But if you're a monster, maybe like companies don't take a chance on whatever you're making or doing, and you're poor,
That's
but you're
true.
also funding everything. Like, I don't know. I just know Dovy's a monster.
I'm the hero.
That's all I got.
I don't deserve. Whatever.
And now back to the morning app on 90.5 WASU.
With the new semester and all, not only do you have new roommates and new friends, but you also obviously have new relationships. It's the morning app here on 90.5 WASU. And we are going to be talking, your new friendship advice, but we also have some dating advice for freshmen and even, I guess, just anyone out there who wants to listen. I mean, maybe you're struggling in general with the relationship, but hey, we are here to help. And for me, at least, especially if you're a freshman, don't necessarily rush into anything. Like, enjoy it, form bonds, try and, know what you like and dislike, and really just spend time. You don't, have to come to college immediately and be like, oh, I need a relationship right now. I'm so alone, which I think a lot of people feel with because it is a new arena. It's a new, place. Their family's gone. They're just bored and alone. And that's why they're like, oh, I need someone to connect with right
so
now.
Funny.
Yeah. And boom.
That's how me and my girlfriend met. Because
nice,
we were because again, like I said, I transferred here and I was trying to meet people. And so I was doing everything to just enjoy my time. I wasn't thinking about a relationship, right? But when we met, we just hit it off super fast. We were just connecting, and I was like, I'd rather hang out with this person than anybody else, But I was so oh my gosh, this is way too fast. I don't know where I am right now on Earth, I have to get situated. Yeah. So it was kind of hard. The first couple weeks and the month even, she was just is this dude into me? I can't tell. And I was just
no.
being super vague. At one point we were even we would go to parties together and people would be like, so are you guys a thing? And I'd be like, she would look at me and she'd be like, yeah, Dovy. Are we what do you think? And I'd just be like, man, you know how it is.
To be announced.
It was the worst. I feel so bad for it. But then she was she gave me that space, and then that's when I was like, yeah, she's cool. Let's keep hanging out and be a thing.
Yeah.
So it's definitely tough because if you're here off the bat, I wouldn't stress about it. I would just go with the flow. Get yourself situated first. That's the most important thing, you know.
I think all relations happen when they are supposed to happen, too. I think, if it's the right person, it'll click. Most of the time, especially if you're not looking for a relationship, it comes. And then you're like, oh, wow. You kind of know that's, the one or it when, you weren't even looking. You were just enjoying everything. And then, bam, out of nowhere, it happens. And it shows up. And you're like, huh. If I connected this well with someone without looking immediately and then still want to keep hanging out with them and keep having that, type of relationship, it's wow, this is big time.
You want it to be organic, you don't want
to force it.
No.
Well, and the other thing, too, my roommate and I were talking about this last night, actually, but we're only, in our early 20s. It feels like there's a big rush to find someone before you leave college, but even if it's not until after college, you're still not that, old. It's not...
not that old.
Yeah, it's not like you're
old.
But, you still have time to find someone. It's not something you should rush into, I want to be married at 22 and have a kid at, 25,
Well, it's just tough because our parents definitely lived in a different time, so... for them, it's kind of I know people that have their parents ask them, when are you getting married? Because, and especially, I don't know, for example, my girlfriend's mom and her grandmother, and just in that lineage in general, it was just more common for them to get married younger, and she's, the oldest person now who hasn't been married. So
she's pressuring you.
It's different.
She's all over. She's like, Dovy.
Thankfully, we're both on the same page. We're just let's try to get jobs first and all that. You don't want to stress about it. I mean, because we're just living in a different time. We had debt. We need to get jobs. We need to graduate.
Let me get a job, have my career for about 25 to 30 years. Then maybe
let me travel.
Oh, goodness.
Without you. I mean, if you want to tag, sure, but I don't really need you. But
I think that's the most important thing, though, is to be on the same page, because I definitely know people who have been in long-term relationships and then wanted to get married, but then they're, significant other, they did not want to get married until 10 years down the road, and they're just no, I can't wait that long. They're on different pages, and that's what. So as long as I think you're on the same page of when you want to get married, then
Yeah,
like,
and then
it's
you
not
also
a
have
time
those.
rush.
You have those like parents of each person is different. Like one parent maybe waited until they were 30 or 35 to find it, and those people are like, oh, I'm in no rush. My parents, waited that long. And then the people who got
Yeah.
married at 18 and knew their person, and you go past that, and you're like, what am I doing? I haven't found my person, and my parents found it at like 18. I'm way behind.
Yeah.
So I think they feel that pressure as well.
You also don't want to get lost because some people forget. Some people get so caught up in the career and getting themselves, I don't know, not even situated. Like they'll be like 33 and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot to add this element to my life.
Yeah.
So, but what kind of advice would you give? Not just for like even a relationship, but like just a friendship advice. I mean, like finding a good squad to always go to, or having just that one friend to always be able to be there while you're starting out. With your first year.
Well, I think you should, once you find someone you maybe connect with, try and hang out with them as much as you want, whether it's, male or female and same gender, opposite gender, like, doesn't matter. If you find someone you connect with, I would try and solidify that now. Then again, I'm not a patient person. I'd be like, oh, where's my new friend? Like, is my new friend, like, doing something else with another friend? Like, I should be there now, solidifying this relationship, so I'm the good friend. I'm the best friend. So, I mean, but for me, just go out there and try and spend as much time with whoever you connect with, whether it's a group, a club, or a person. Try and, go and do everything with them. That's me anyway. But that was me as a freshman too, because I didn't, I had my roommate who I knew, but when I finally met the, people on my floor that were cool, who are now my roommates and everything, I was trying to do everything with them and spend as much time with them because they were fun to be with. And I was trying to, solidify the relationship. And here we are now, bickering and hating each other.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't be afraid to hang out with people too much, because I think that's something some people do when they come in. They're like, oh, I need to make as many friends as possible. I need to spread myself out. And then it's just, sometimes you can spread yourself too thin, like have too many friends, and then you don't really have any close friends, like no one you can really confide in. And so it's good, obviously, to have like lots of friends if that's what you want, but not to have any close friends, I think, makes it a little harder.
And I think if you have a big group, like eventually it's going to filter through, like people you like, people that like you are going to eventually like see each other more often. And then before you know it, you should be good.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you'll have some friends.
Don't
Don't worry.
The same subreddits to look at.
Yeah, exactly.
Friendship subreddits. Really just dive in there and get your best friendship advice from Reddit. And just honestly, take it easy. And here we have the Eagles on the morning app.
And now back to your favorite morning talk show, The Morning App on 90.5 WASU.
If you could have that one dream home, that one spot that you know of, what would it be? Because apparently Justin Bieber found his back here on the Morning App, and Dovy, Justin Bieber just bought a mansion in Canada.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because it's his. He's originally Canadian.
Oh, that's right.
So he's gonna. It's just nice. He's got his own sanctum built in his home country. So that's pretty cool. And it made me kind of wonder. I was like, what would my dream house be like? You know, if I had the money, what would I want in it? Off the bat, I'm like, dude, I gotta have a huge bath because that's the best way to unwind. Is having a bath, candles, you're
right,
bubbles, salt, boom, a place where I can put my laptop, maybe watch some Game of Thrones or something.
Well, one, you don't need a laptop when you have a giant plasma screen TV right there.
Yeah.
And two, it is mainly to be in the tub. It is okay.
Maybe a way to also, because it's gonna be the future, right? So maybe a way to navigate. So maybe I can go on Reddit. While I'm doing that. That would be.
Well, you just talk to him and be like, TV, bring up my favorite Reddit stream or subreddit or whatever you call them.
Something else I really want is a game room, but not a video game room, like a board game room where you can play Dungeons and Dragons. So it'd be a medieval setting. You know what I mean? You'd have knights and the whiskey would be in potion bottles and stuff, so it'd be a wizard section and stuff.
Now, what if the room transformed with each board game you pulled out? You go to your closet and you pull out Dungeons and Dragons, and the whole room transforms into a
well, it gotta be at least
Wild.
realistic. That's a lot of money. I need that money for the bath.
If you just transported to that other dimension like we talked about,
that's true.
You would have been okay.
That could be that dimension. That's the dream life.
Yeah.
But I definitely need some kind of nice game room because I love board games. I play a lot of board games, whether it's something like Monopoly or Jenga, or if it's something really complicated and strategy stuff that you would find in a hobby
the
shop.
thinking ones.
Yeah, because I just love those because you don't stare at a screen and you have to look at each other and you typically socialize more. It's so that's got to be something. I would want it in the mountains too.
Well, yeah, I was talking, during the break about putting it on. I want my, mansion on a giant mountain, maybe a lake below where I can slip and slide all the way down, have a giant long slide all the way down to the lake and then an escalator back up because I don't want to hike it, obviously.
True.
And you just plummet into the lake or the beach or the ocean. I just want that view and a lake.
And the fun.
Or some form of water.
That'd be such an awesome way to relieve the stress, if you were
just having a bad day, you go down a giant slip and slide,
or a zip line. You could get a zip line from your house to the lake.
It's a little bit more dangerous.
But that'd be so much more exciting.
I don't know, dude. This slide might be worse. Is it a tube slide?
Yeah,
or is it,
I think
I'm about to
you
say.
don't go flying out.
If it's just a metal slide, you're totally going to go off course there.
So it's tube, but it's glass, so you can look the entire time going down.
That's
water slide.
Yeah.
Yes, with the water slide. Yeah, not like a slip. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to have water. Yeah, that would hurt. If it was in the
Oh,
mountains, if it gets cold. But the thing is, you're not going to be able to use it all year.
No, I'm going to heat it.
You're going to heat it?
Yeah, it's going to be like a greenhouse effect.
Okay.
It's like an indoor pool, but it's also an indoor, giant water tube thingy. And if it's a lake or a pool down at the bottom, then you can heat it. Obviously, if it's a lake, it's kind of a little bit hard to heat unless you make a giant greenhouse over your own lake. So, possibilities are there.
That's true.
Just got to think.
And a waterproof tablet to go through Reddit while you slide down.
Yeah. Well,
It always
I'm trying to
goes
look at the
back
view.
to Reddit.
I'm not that obsessed with Reddit just yet. But on Wednesday, we will be having our favorite game, Real or Fake News. Of course, we're bringing it back, and we're not entirely sure how we're going to do it this year yet. We only have, a 3-person group so far. We'll keep rotating new members of the show in because sometimes it is hard to get up every single day at 8 a.m. And we also have busy schedules, but other people want opportunities, so they will be getting in on the morning show. We'll have new cast and crew here, and we'll introduce them each week. But we're trying to figure out how we're going to do the Real or Fake News, but it's still going to be your favorite game that we all know and love. We got, of course, our relationship coming up as well on Wednesday. But I think it's going to be a good year. I'm excited to do this show with you all, and I hope everyone else out there is extremely happy to listen again.
Yeah, I hate it.
Just kidding. Tell the viewers you just want to go home and watch Reddit or read Reddit.
That's not.
whatever.
You're not wrong, but no, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not as bad being up this early as I originally thought. And maybe that's thanks to the coffee, like who knows, but
It's 100% thanks to the coffee.
It's not. It's definitely not. It's thanks to the morning app here, and we will see you back here on Wednesday at 8 a.m. Another edition of the morning app. Thank you for listening. Have a great day of classes here on this beautiful Monday morning.